Hello, hello, hola. Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music. We'll deep dive a randomly selected UK singles top 10 from the past. We don't need no permission because you're going to rock to this, read between the lines and understand the facts that we're trying to give you. It's everything I wish I didn't know because we about to tear the roof off this joint. I'm James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson. And we are looking specifically this week at the randomly picked UK chart top 10 from the past from the 15th of November 2004. That's right, isn't it, James?
Yeah, and everyone will have worked out that from the brilliant clues in my intro.
Yes, I've been listening to the songs this week, as we do, don't we, to get a little bit of research and, well, to do this programme properly. Do you think we should call it a programme or podcast? I was wondering, what do people call these things? A show, I've heard? It doesn't seem like a show, James. Stuck here.
Yeah, podcast is fine.
Okay.
And we'll talk about pods during this.
Nice work.
There's a little throw ahead for you. Where were you 15th of November 2004?
Me personally, James, as you know, doing this pod, then you can't help but be nostalgic. So I think about my life. I was in my mid-30s, doing comedy gigs, really earning some money, trying to keep a relationship afloat. Vaguely, I've got that going on. Then I had a little think about it. I'm also going to say, James, I was working in television, around the subjects of pop music, nebulously, and I was on the outskirts. I wasn't even on the outskirts. I had to catch a bus to get to the outskirts of doing it. But, I was working as a stand-up comic. And like I say, I might mention it later, a little bit of television work around the glorious subject of pop music. What about you? What were you doing?
I was working as a giggle bitch on a breakfast show in Coventry. Shall I clarify what a giggle bitch is for people who don't know?
I mean, in many ways, I love it just as it is. But yeah, go on.
So this is the... usually sexist term used to describe the co-host of a local radio breakfast show whose job it is to laugh at everything the host says. on the show that I was on,
I've been a giggle bitch.
Oh, wait. We gender reversed it, and the main host was female, and I was the co-host.
Once again, ahead of your time.
Absolutely, yeah. We've taken local radio breakfast shows to a whole new level for about 18 months before we got fired. So you're probably thinking, well, this is the top 10. I'm working on a mainstream commercial radio station.
Yeah.
I must know all of these songs from the playlist.
Yeah.
I can only remember 3 of these songs being on the playlist.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like I say, I'm always engaged. I thought maybe I was just looking at it and listening to it. I thought, well, maybe I wasn't engaged with the top 40, but I flicked it forward a month and back a month from what we did. I knew loads of records in the top 40. I mean, other records are in the top 40, such as Love Machine and I Predict a Riot, My Neck, My Back by Kia, none of which we're going to be talking about this week.
This is 3 days after the funeral of John Peel.
Okay, let's do a bit more historical context. I had a little Google, James. George Bush had just won his second term. The next day, the government announced that smoking in public areas was banned. Have you ever heard of the UK Music Hall of Fame?
No, I didn't know there was one. Is there one?
There was one established on 11th November 2004, and they inducted people. I had a look on YouTube about it. It looks a bit of a shindig. You know what these things are. Just people turning up. But the British public voted for icons of each decade. Let's see if you love a quiz. I'm going to chuck one on you early. Who did the British public in this mythical UK Music Hall of Fame, which neither of us heard of and probably doesn't exist, but who did the British public vote for at that time to be an icon of the 90s?
Icon of the 90s. I know, is it the Spice Girls?
Robbie Williams.
Oh, okay.
What about the 80s?
George Michael?
Michael Jackson in the 70s?
Hang on, Michael Jackson's not British.
Quite.
It can be anyone.
Seemingly.
Oh, right.
I like it. And also, James, we voted Michael Jackson in 2004. Now, I remember, let's call it the allegations, came out in the mid-90s. So here we are, 10 years later, thinking, that's all right, let's just put him as an icon of the 80s still.
All right, so icon of the 70s.
Yeah.
David Bowie.
Queen. Icon of the 60s.
The Beatles.
Stones.
I am terrible at this.
Yeah. Well, you are not in touch with the voting taste of the British public. Not for the first time, James, when we've discussed that.
Yes, I know.
Who was an icon of the 50s?
I mean, Elvis.
Cliff.
You can have Americans. So suddenly you can't have Americans. Okay. Well, there's a lot going on in the world of music, as kind of there are shifts happening, and this is like a transitional time. For example, they were just about to announce that Top of the Pops was going to be moved to Sundays.
It's a travesty.
Having already been moved to Fridays, which killed it, they're going to, no, we're definitely going to kill it now by moving it to Sundays on BBC Two.
I mean, what is wrong with the BBC? Haven't they had enough problems? I mean, this week at recording, there's a chef who's in trouble. I mean, it seems like small potatoes as opposed to moving top of the pops.
I mean, this was 20 years ago, Andy. We should be over it by now.
But we're not, are we?
But at the same time, 7.5 million people were watching the first series of The X Factor, which was going on at the time of this chart.
I hear you.
And that was going to become a way to discover new pop stars, some of whom go on to be absolutely massive and some of whom just disappear.
I bought, personally, 20% of this UK top 10. And that's CD singles, James. I absolutely contributed to, a fifth of these records being in the top 10. What about yourself?
I bought none of them.
You are.
I was working on commercial radio.
Yeah,
why would I need to buy them? That was my thinking. I'd hear them all the time anyway. I've got some stats about the chart.
I love your stats. Let's hear them.
There are 3 UK number ones, 3 new entries, 3 non-movers, and 4 songs going down for a total net movement of -9. The week before this chart, the top 6 had all been American, and that was the first time that had ever happened in UK chart history. But there'd been a couple of new entries this week that would have ended that dominance. But there are still 5 American artists in the top 10, along with 2 British, 1 Australian, 1 Swede, and 1 Irish.
I also have some little thoughts about it. I reckon there are 4 songs decrying a state of mind, 3 songs about a liberation of the physical senses, 2 cover versions, and 1 song about telling your partner you've got another woman up the duff. Tragically, there are no key changes, but luckily there is at least 1 song that contains the self-reference, so that's all good.
There are some themes I noticed as well. There's a sort of Eastern vibe
Absolutely.
to a lot of the tracks. And also, a big trend is going to be production teams working on songs, particularly teams from Scandinavia. They're going to show up a lot.
Nice research. You can listen to all these songs if you just have a little look below at the descriptions. There's a Spotify and a YouTube playlist. Always heartily recommend that you listen to these songs either before, during or after this podcast, and also just maybe nothing to do with it, just have a listen to them because they're great.
There are another half a dozen songs on those playlists that are in the top 100 on the 15th of November 2004, and we'll get into them in our special Bonus Tracks podcast.
What kind of people are in our bonus tracks?
Well, let me tell you, there are the Kings of Leon, Nas, Estelle, a knitted band, and a song that utilises an Eric Clapton riff to bully people. You can join our Patreon community for free. The Bonus Tracks podcast costs less than a Tassimo machine a month.
Was a Tassimo machine popular this year, James?
2004 was the year that it was introduced.
Fair dues.
Everyone report to the dance floor.
Number 10.
Down 1 to number 10. It's last week's only British representative in the top 10. It's DJ by Jamelia. I don't think this was on the playlist of the radio station I worked at, but this was a double A-side with a cover of Stop by Sam Brown, which was on the playlist.
Okay, cool.
But that's not the one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about DJ, her 4th consecutive top 10 hit and 5th single from the album Thank You.
I mean, I love Jamelia. I have to say I had a pop star crush on her, or a fan's crush, let's say. I thought she was great. The record DJ, it's all about a call to the DJ, isn't it, James? It's about demanding of the DJ that you keep dancing, essentially. It reminded me of things like Play by J-Lo, Ponder Replay, Rihanna, Family Affair a little bit, that kind of sentiment. There's loads of songs about asking the DJ to play stuff, isn't there? Loads of country songs. But I've loved this week, DJ. I couldn't remember it.
This has got into my head this week, particularly the hook. The dun, 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 dun. That bit.
Yep.
Do you know where that's from?
Nope.
That is from a 1971 track called Primitive Spirit by the French jazz flutist Raymond Guillot. Right? And I found that track and I listened to it and I went, oh yes, this is everything that I like about DJ is this.
Ah, cool. Oh, well, listen to that. Maybe we could put that on the Spotify playlist as an extra track if, like I say, we like to chuck stuff in, don't we?
Yeah. And 2004 was a huge year for jazz flute, wasn't it?
A huge Anchorman.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what came out that year, which got a jazz flute scene in it.
Well, like you say, isn't it? I quite like it because it's essentially just 2 chords all the way through. It's got that kind of dun, as you dun 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 dun, and that's it all the way through. Yet The rhythmic bounce, the joy of the lyrics keeps you interested right till the bitter end, I'm going to say.
And as you say, the lyrics are a call to the dance floor, or are they, Andy?
Huh?
Well, because she starts the first verse by saying, 10 o'clock, weekend, about to head out to the Garden of Eden. Now, if that's 10 o'clock at night and the Garden of Eden is a nightclub, then you're right. But what if it's 10 o'clock in the morning and the Garden of Eden is a garden centre?
I get you. This has changed the whole impetus of Jamelia's song.
It's a different song, but then she does say, going to get my stilettos and my cap on. People tend not to wear stilettos to garden centres.
All valid points you are making. I like the words to this. There's a lot of slang, isn't it? She mentions being crunk and a joint, all this kind. A lot of
she says
urban terminology. My friend, who's a stand-up comic, black woman, she once said she got a call to an audition for an advert, and that the advertising people say, "We're looking for an urban vibe," and she was kind of going, "It's fine to say black guys. Come on, calm down."
She says, "Let me show you how to get crunk."
Yep.
How do you get crunk?
I don't know.
No, nor me. We're the wrong people to ask about that, I think.
I felt a little bit crunk, though, listening to this record. You know, crunk is a state of excitement, I believe.
Is it a cross between sort of cross and drunk?
I don't want to get into it too much because we sound like a right pair of old nanas, but yeah, anyway.
We're going on about the modern slang in a song that's 20 years old.
Yeah. My friend said that recently. I took great deal. He sort of criticised will.i.am for using modern terminology like dope. I piled into him as a silly old man, so I don't, I don't want to get back into that.
I don't think it's bad. I just don't know what it means.
We're all right. We're doing our best. Hey, and this is interesting. You know me, James. I like to look at YouTube comments. Astonishingly, this song has no YouTube comments after it. I've looked at so many songs in the past, loads of nonsense, loads of people. This is a forgotten song, so I'm saying we should start a petition. Yeah, if you're listening to this, which of course you are, I hate saying if you're listening to it, we should start a petition to just put some comments under DJ by Jamelia, get it back up the algorithms, algorithm and blues, yeah?
Have you done it?
No.
Oh, you want other people to do it for you?
Of course. You know me. Jamelia? She's interesting, wasn't she? She was always on panel shows after a pop star thing. Always funny, always charming.
Yep.
She's from Birmingham, so I suppose I felt a kinship there. She's beautiful. I felt a kinship there with her, if you know what I mean.
Because you are also beautiful. You feel like she gets me.
Me and Christina Aguilera. Little spoiler alert for what's coming up. Also, do you remember though, Jamelia at one point, she was on some Good Morning Britain or something. She caused a little stir at one point by saying that she thought clothes for the larger woman shouldn't be allowed on the high street because it encouraged fatties, I'm going to say. And then she had a bit of a pile on about it. Then she sort of justified it a bit by saying, I was also on about, size 0. I'm on about dress sizes. She caused a little stir, is what I'm saying. Even that wasn't commented on the internet, so I don't know why I brought it up. My apologies.
Well, she went on to be a loose woman.
Yes.
For a little while. She was also on Strictly Come Dancing in 2015.
Was she?
Yeah, she finished 8th, behind Peter Andre, but ahead of Jeremy Vine.
Oh, anybody who beats Jeremy Vine, I am all for. With a stick, preferably.
So this is the first production team we're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Today behind this, Soul Shock and Carlin, the Danish producers, who are also behind Too Much by the Spice Girls, Rise and Fall by Craig David / Sting. It was originally recorded by Samantha Mumba.
You are joking?
Yeah, but she had been dropped from her record label, so it never got released.
That is a cruel world of pop music. I mean, I saw her do a live version on some music awards on YouTube. There's not much in terms of representation on YouTube of this song. She looks and sounds great, and it's a massive arena she's playing. She looks like a pop star.
Because she is one.
I know. But, she's not a pure pop star, is she? With her, like I say, appearances on Loose Women and stuff after. I mean, her time as a pop star was short, wasn't it? Have you seen that in the... let's call it pop news this week about Kate Nash and Lily Allen?
Doing OnlyFans.
They do OnlyFans because they make more money from doing that than streaming the music. So it's a cruel and brutal world out there, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe we should be on OnlyFans as well.
What would we offer, do you think?
I don't know. Get our bums out.
Yeah, best feature. Kate, it's certainly an interesting world, isn't it, where the music business is so cruel, I'm going to say, to pop stars, or it can be, especially these days with streaming. Hey, listen to the playlist on Spotify if you're enjoying this show. But it's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Can I put my bum away now?
Please, no money's coming in.
number 9.
At number 9 this week, out of the blue, literally, because it's straight in, is Delta Goodrem with the song Out of the Blue. That was a clumsy link, nonetheless, I've done it.
That's come out of nowhere. First time I heard this, I went, meh.
Yeah.
Really like it now.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? The first time I heard it, I was thinking, meh. And then I had a little look at YouTube, and it turns out it's about a song about her recovery from cancer, so I can't give it a kick in.
No, well, look, that's not a reason not to.
I'm only being
enjoy.
silly.
But it has grown on me this week, and you were right. That is what this song is about. It's actually specifically about meeting the person who helped her get through her cancer treatment.
Yes. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
After I say I gave it half a dozen listens, I was thinking, oh, this is beautiful.
It reminds me of. Have you seen the musical Waitress?
Not yet, let's say.
It reminds me of that. It's got that kind of vibe, and all the songs in that are written by Sarah Bareilles.
Great songwriter.
And I thought this sounds like tunes they have in musicals that have been written in the last 10 years or so. It is about poo.
What?
It's about poo.
What?
'Cause
Don't do this to me, James. I'm getting into this song. I'm finding it beautiful. It's touching. And then you come with your facts. What?
It's about poo.
Why'd you do this?
Because the person who helped her through her diagnosis and the treatment was the Australian tennis player Mark Philippoussis, whose nickname is Poo.
Oh, you've dragged it back from the edge. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's one of the few songs written about a tennis player that I could think of.
I like the chorus, however, whatever the words are. I can't sing it properly or remember the words. Let's claim it's for copyright. I mean, it's so beautiful in Now this is, so it's got that chord change in.
Yeah, and it's also got a lyric about it going into a beautiful garden. So again, garden centre.
You are doubling down on this conspiracy theory. What I like about it, James, is that, especially in the chorus, it's got that chord change. It goes from F, yeah? Then goes to F major 7th. And then it goes to F 7th. Then back to the major 7th. So it's got a little movement, hasn't it, there? Now this is kind of so Beatley, really, because you've got that sort of song of, the Ruttles. I have always thought in the back of my mind, cheese and onion. That one.
Yeah.
It's also that the Julian Lennon thing of, there are the rocks that's flying in up to the sky. Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
Good little children, we could be like my dad. Whatever it's doing. So it's got that chord changes. I'm always going to be calling that out, not in a criticising way. Thank you for continuing that tradition, Delta.
And her co-writer, Guy Chambers.
Really?
Yes.
Robbie Williams, his mate?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this is just after they stopped working together, and he went off to work with Delta Goodrem, who worked with her quite a lot. This was her 6th consecutive Australian #1 and 4th UK top 10 hit. She's well known for playing Nina Tucker in Neighbours.
I didn't know that.
Yes, a bad girl, aspiring singer who Harold Bishop encourages to take part in a singing contest. Well done, Harold.
On YouTube, this is a reminder of the old times. Jehoshua Beath says, I downloaded this song with dial-up back in the day. I was ecstatic when the download finished after 2 hours.
Yeah, this was 2004. This was kind of the start of things like Napster and LimeWire, where people started file sharing. And yes, it would take ages sometimes.
Did you watch the video?
I did not.
Indigo Industrial says it's a classic tale of a young woman who goes to the beach and finds a piano in the field on the way home. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Okay. In 2018, Delta Goodrem would play Olivia Newton-John in a TV series, who was also an Australian singer/actress and cancer sufferer.
Yep. In terms of actors these days, you're saying you have to have the lived experience, let's say, to play the role. So maybe if you're playing someone who's had cancer, you should have cancer yourself to play that part. What do you make? Should we posit that as an idea? It's good, isn't it? Yeah. I'm all for it, James.
Yeah, this has gone weird.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm being silly. You put it up. If you want to play a serial killer, let's say, you've got to have done some serial killing.
Yeah, probably.
Woke Hollywood.
So as I say, I wasn't particularly looking forward to hearing this song. But I mean, the last couple of times I have been belting it out in the car.
I'm going to say, James, as well, there's load of pretty girls looking at the videos this week singing that. That's part of pop music, isn't it? I'm not being sexist to comment here. Also, Delta Goodrum, she seems to be releasing music. There was one video I clicked on from 4 months ago where she's still at it, being a rock star, very 80s rock, still looking great. So, you know, well done, Delta.
Number 8. A non-mover at number 8. It's a former number 1, Call on Me by Eric Prydz. I'm saving for a new settee.
Go on.
That's what he sings. Saving for a new settee.
Of course, it's taken from the... I mean, what should we talk about? Let's talk about the sample, as you say. It's from Steve Winwood's song, isn't it? Valerie?
Yep.
Also, I read on YouTube comments in my research that Steve Winwood recorded his vocal bit so Eric Prydz or Prides or whatever could use it. So that's something, isn't it?
He re-recorded the vocal for this. He said, I quite like it. I think he did a good job. I mean, it's not exactly my cup of tea, but I like what he did technically with it.
Yes, I mean, when it comes on the playlist, to me, it is, I can't stand it. It is like a migraine approaching. I hate this song. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Should we talk about the elephant in the room? Because also, you know, I was looking at YouTube comments, wasn't I, James? Mm-hmm. So,
bet you were.
Did you? There's some good comments on YouTube. Get your head around these, right?
Should we say what's in the video before you do these, or is this going to give it away?
I feel like we all know it, but yeah, we should describe it.
Okay, so the video is basically sexy 80s aerobics.
Yep.
And you look at some of the moves they're doing, and you're going, what muscle group is that helping? Exactly.
Have you seen the film The Substance recently?
No, I haven't.
Pretty good. It's about Demi Moore and, you know, getting older, getting more... She takes a drug that makes her younger, transforms her into a younger version of herself. And she's presenting a TV program. I mean, the whole TV program that Demi Moore was and is presenting as a younger woman is absolutely the video to this.
Well, maybe I'll watch it then.
This is good anyway. So it's pretty sexy, isn't it? In a very blatant way, let's say. Jay Rizzle on YouTube says, this is back when music videos told the story of the song. It really shows what the artist was trying to say.
I'm going to assume that that's a joke because it's funny.
They're all jokes. Predictably, Ben Rowland 2004 says, I've been doing this workout for years and it only builds my forearm. Classic joke. Yeah. Thank you, Ben. This is someone called the officially unofficial Alters 8911 says, I'm deaf, but I love this song.
Vice Media called it the sexiest music video of all time, and The Enemy said it was the 5th worst video of all time. Who said about this video, I nearly fell off my rowing machine?
I don't know.
It's someone very 2004.
Yeah, God.
Tony Blair.
Dealing with the big subjects again.
Yeah. At the height of the Iraq crisis. He was too busy falling off his rowing machine to Eric Prydz.
I mean, it caused such a stir, didn't it, this video? I have to say, I watched it. I was kind of thinking, it's a very, as I mentioned, it's a very blunt sexuality, isn't it? It's very in your face. And
yeah, there's no mystery there.
There's no mystery. And I was watching it thinking, I kind of enjoyed this as a heterosexual man back in the mid-2000s. And I watched it again. And sadly, I am going to say, I think, will I change when I watch this? Sadly, I'm going to say, I am the same boy I used to be.
I just think they're too sweaty. That's what puts me off.
But, the chords essentially are... Yeah.
Yeah, it's Polly by Nirvana.
Yeah, or it's or she said a love for me will never die. It means, you know, I don't know what key it's in, but it's that old progression. Also, because it was like that, James, I was thinking, how did it go? Go, Valerie, call on me, call on me. But then I was thinking, because it sounded a bit like Run to Me, you know, as I mentioned. Mm-hmm. And then with watching the video and singing it, I had a... You're gonna come to me.
Oh, God.
I did it. I couldn't help myself.
Awful. It's an awful man. I'm going into stats to calm you down. It's the 4th biggest selling single of 2004, behind...
Sorry, I was still thinking about the video. Ask me the question again.
4th biggest selling single of the year, behind...
Go on, you'll have to remind
Band-Aid
me.
20.
Yes.
Fuck It by Eamon and The Cha Cha Slide.
I love all of them records.
That's where the
Possibly not the
music-
Band-Aid 21.
That's where the charts were. It's the longest running number one of 2004, 5 weeks, although not consecutively. It was also the lowest selling number one of all time when it went back to the top on the 17th of October. 23,519 physical copies
Really?
were sold. A record that was broken the following week by the same song when it stayed at number one with 21,749. That record is held by the band Orson and the song No Tomorrow, I think the following year, with sales of 17,000. But there is a reason for that, because obviously they're still using physical sales, and streaming and downloads are starting to be, well, downloads are starting to be a thing now.
Yeah.
Streaming will come along. So by April of 2005, they changed the chart rules and downloads start being incorporated into the chart stats, but still not fully for another couple of years. So again, it's that sort of transitional period between the era of buying physical copies to having virtual copies on your devices.
I get you. As Bob Dylan said, come gather round people wherever you stream, for the times they are a-changing. Something like that.
You talked about Valerie, the original by Stevie Winwood, released twice in 1982 and 1987, never gets higher than number 19. So the fact this goes to number one for 5 weeks, good news for Stevie Winwood.
It was inescapable for a bit, this record, I felt. Like, whether it was Top of the Pops on a Sunday or whatever they were showing, you just heard it out and about all the time, and it really gets on my nerves.
It was on our playlist. We played it all the time. It was also less than 3 minutes long, or at least this version is. There is a version of it that is 7.5 minutes long, and it doesn't change at all.
Yeah.
Even at 2 minutes 40 or whatever it is, it overstays its welcome. It's very, very repetitive.
I think so. I think it is a migraine approaching.
Stevie Winwood's contribution to this track makes him the only person to sing lead vocals on a UK number one single in the 60s and the 2000s.
Cool.
The original Valerie, co-written by Will Jennings. Do you know who that is?
No,
Okay.
tell me.
I'll give you some of his writing credits, because
Okay.
this is quite impressive.
All right. The co-writer of Valerie rather than Call on Me.
Yeah,
Okay.
the co-writer of Valerie. So, Higher Love,
Stevie Winwood, great song.
Up Where We Belong,
Classic from The Officer and Gentleman, yeah.
One Day I'll Fly Away,
Randy Crawford.
yeah. Street Life,
Great.
Didn't We Almost Have It All,
Who sang that?
Whitney Houston,
Of course.
My Heart Will Go On,
Jesus Christ almighty, how much money is this fella
Yeah,
making?
exactly.
Yeah.
and also Tears in Heaven by Eric Clapton. He has a co-writer.
Did he?
Yeah. I know who Valerie is, by the way, or I know who the rumours say it is.
Go on then.
It is apparently US singer-songwriter Valerie Carter.
Really?
Apparently. I don't know who that is.
I always like to imagine it was Valerie Singleton in my
Yeah.
head, so, another dream ruined by your fact-checking. As I say, this song, it is inextricably linked, in my mind at least, to the video, but the actual tune itself, I mean, come on.
Do you think
Horrible.
the video is why it got to number one?
Yes. I think it played a substantial part for certain.
Which is weird, because you don't get the video on the CD.
No.
No. So you put it on and it would remind you of watching the video.
I just imagined a lot of people, let's say in gym culture, that I reckon that record would have been playing on MTV, whatever the video were. And, I go past the gym. People don't look like that in the gym.
They really don't. Not round here.
Not in these parts.
I said there is not a spin class in the world that didn't buy a copy of this song.
Yeah.
Do you know what Eric Prydz' real name is?
Nope.
Eric Prydz.
I'm going to get you back for that.
Number 7.
Down 4 to number 7. It's My Prerogative by Britney Spears. I found it quite hard to say the word prerogative then.
Yeah, it's a weird word to have in a pop song, isn't
Yeah.
it? It would be like having a song called Subjudice or something like that. It feels very highfalutin.
I'm glad you picked up on this. I can't think of another song with the word prerogative in, can you?
It doesn't really rhyme with anything.
Email us in to shubipodcast@gmail.com if you know any other songs with the word prerogative in. All right then, let's do this early. You like to throw a quiz on me, as you've just done with your sneaky Eric Prydz question, I heard ya. Prerogative, I thought, is such an unusual word, yeah? Let's go to brainyquotes.com before we dig into the nuts and bolts of this song and see if you can tell me who said this quote with the word prerogative in. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love. It is the prerogative of the brave. First of all, we could maybe talk about the quote. Is a coward incapable of exhibiting love? Yeah, I like it. All right, then. Yeah, okay.
Who talks about cowards?
Kenny Rogers?
Kenny Rogers. Yeah.
Well, unless Mahatma Gandhi is Kenny Rogers, it's not the case.
There are those of us who believe he is. It's an internet conspiracy that I'm starting.
Probably.
He disappeared about the same time Kenny Rogers showed up. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of fake news, it is a fool's prerogative to utter truths that no one else will speak. Who said that?
Fools uttering. I can't even think of a funny answer.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman. Can you do a funny answer out of the surname Gaiman? You could do it, James, if we're in another world.
Nope.
When they're all right, this is
Neil Gaiman does sound like a command.
This is a pop music question, I suppose. I am a contradictory mess, but I see it as my prerogative to change my mood like the weather. What pop star said that?
Well, that could be Britney Spears.
Shirley Manson.
Oh, off of garbage.
Off of the garbage, yeah. Oh, another pop star. It is everyone's prerogative to retire, but it's like giving up on life as far as I'm concerned. That's a good quote, and it is a pop star who said it is a little quote.
Someone who just won't ever retire.
Yep.
I imagine that is. So maybe one of the Rolling Stones.
It could well have been. It is Roger Taylor out of Queen. Even 20 years later, that quote would stand up for him, I'm going to say. Let's do one more. I'm old enough to have friends and contemporaries who have long since retired, and that's their prerogative. Enough is enough. It doesn't mean a thing to me, but I haven't got any money, so, I just keep on working. Before you answer that, James, let's just give a little reminder. Please sign up to our Patreon.
Enough is enough. Who sang that?
Donna
Summer. Is it Donna Summer?
Unfortunately not. It is Mike Lee.
Oh, the director?
Yeah. All good quotes. So with the word prerogative. Anyway, let's move on and talk about this beauty of a song.
You like it?
Oh, man, I love this song anyway. I like the original. I found this version on not first listening, because I heard it before this week. I thought that's not as good as Bobby Brown's version. But as you alluded to in, let's call it our intro, there's some interesting production going on in this. And it's Britney singing My Prerogative. What more do you need?
Yeah, it's got that Eastern vibe that I mentioned.
At the beginning, it's got a little tuk-tuk on the drums. It's like an Indian tabla. Immediately, as you alluded to, it does give you a little Eastern vibe, let's say.
Yeah. It samples Batwanas Beek, which is a 10-minute long song by Algerian singer Wada Al Jazeera.
Let's get my guitar. The beautiful riff. Something like that. Immediately you're grooving, aren't you?
Yeah.
Did I play it wrong?
No, you didn't. It's not a comment on your playing.
Also, it's a two-chorder, essentially. A minor. How does it go? Ain't nobody but E. How do you just let me live? What's the best bit of this record?
Tell me why.
You got it.
It's the best bit of the original as well. Which I was totally into that when it came out. Bobby Brown's version in 1988, which got to number 6. Written by Bobby Brown.
Yes.
And Teddy Riley.
Oh, really?
From Blackstreet. What I like about Teddy Riley is that his full name is Edward Theodore Riley. So he's got 2 first names that can both be shortened to Teddy. So his name can be Teddy Riley. It's like Boutros Ghali.
Maybe that's who people are referring to when they say you live in the life of Riley. Teddy Riley.
Double Ted Riley there. Bobby Brown wrote it about him leaving New Edition and going solo.
Yep.
That's what his prerogative was all about. What do you think Britney's prerogative is?
It's such a great sentiment for a song, as we've alluded to, the word prerogative. I'm surprised it isn't in more. Now, Britney... did you watch the video?
I'm aware of the video. I didn't watch it this time. No.
Okay. So it's Britney, isn't it? Now, it's also, like, underneath the sort of say the Free Britney thing is going on. The notion of conservatorship is going on, which I would also like to say, I don't think I knew that word before Britney Spears came back. It's a little bit like proroguing when Boris Johnson, the Queen. You hear these new words coming, but I am ignorant, so excuse me.
Well, yeah, because it was 4 years later that a court would say, it's not your prerogative, Britney, and put her under the conservatorship of her father and his attorney. And that lasted until November 2021, so the best part of 13 years.
Wow.
That whole Free Britney thing came along a little bit later. This year, 2004, a mixed year for Britney Spears, has to be said.
Are we doing that thing now where we commenting on Britney's public behaviour?
Well, I'm not going to comment on it. I'm just going to say...
Just state the facts.
I'll state the fact. First of all, she'd had a massive hit with Toxic,
Classic.
that year.
Everyone loves Toxic, don't they?
Again, Eastern vibe.
Yeah.
She'd also married Jason Alexander, and everyone went, what, George from Seinfeld? No, not that one, a different one, like her old childhood friend. Yeah. And then 2 days later, that was annulled. And then she got engaged to Kevin Federline later that year.
I remember.
And while filming a reality TV show, which she would later describe in her own words as the worst thing she'd done in her career.
Ah. On YouTube comments, people are saying she fought to release this song as a single herself. She apparently, according to YouTube comments at least, everyone's saying she went for it. She wanted this song out. It's such a great song, hasn't it? I think you can relate to this. And whether you're a pop star being hounded by the press or whatever it is, something so appealing about this is my prerogative.
She wanted to get the song out there. Doesn't chart in the US at all.
What?
And the album it's from is her greatest hits.
Yeah.
So this is like the single to release her greatest hits.
The one that would be at the end of the album, predictably, if they're going chronologically.
But the name of her greatest hits is My Prerogative, which wasn't, was technically Bobby Brown's hit before it was Britney's.
Yeah.
It seems weird to call your greatest hit after a song that you're releasing with the greatest hits. You're saying, well, I'm assuming this will also be a greatest hit. I mean, it turned out to be, a number 3 hit, so
yeah.
Gamble paid off.
In the video, she's sexy in it. There's no doubt about it. Let's take that as a fact. But she's driving along. She crashes a car. It goes into a swimming pool. She comes out this car in the swimming pool singing. Then she sort of goes around, performs in front of an old projector. Going, the fella who's watching at the projector, the male gaze, let's say, finds her appealing. Then it turns into a little wedding that they is having, and then transforms into a club scene. It's a good video. She's a great performer, isn't she?
Another Scandinavian production team.
Oh yes, who?
This would be Bloodshy and Avant, or their real names, Lars Carlson and Pontus Winberg. They're the ones who'd worked on Toxic.
If you listen to it, if you nip over to Spotify, hopefully after, lean into the production because there's so many tricks and little sound effects going on. They're appealing.
Number 6.
Down to number 6. It's Car Wash (Shark Tale Mix) by Christina Aguilera and Missy Elliott.
I mean, it was only a few weeks ago, James. Hang on, let's not admit that. I know some facts about Car Wash. The bloke who wrote it, he did it on the back of a KFC bag. Yeah. What else did we say only a few weeks ago when we were doing the original? Also, it was used in a Republican-Democrat idea. Some white bloke said it on the US election that it's an aspirational song for the American people. What else did we... Go on, remind us. We only talked about this a few weeks ago, is my point.
Yeah, this is the first instance in the history of this podcast where we're covering a cover of a song that we've already talked about.
Yeah.
And I would recommend you go and listen to that episode from 1977 where we talk about Car Wash, because this is a cynical cash grab, isn't it?
Nice. I like where you're going with this.
That's what it is. It adds nothing.
It does add a little thing because in the word, we mentioned what sort of people they can meet. Now, there was an Indian chief, wasn't it? They can meet in the new, improved, in inverted commas version. She doesn't want to say an Indian chief, so she says a common thief. That's a radical reworking.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's a like-for-like switch there. I think there's some connotations. Now, the rumour is that Christina Aguilera got paid $1 million to do this. And I'm sure Missy Elliott
did all right
out of it as well. And if so, good luck to the both of them.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're not on OnlyFans, are they? That's no comment on Lily and Kate. Keep up the great work.
Well, maybe if they'd done the song for Shark Tale, they'd be all right now.
Well, Lily Allen, when she did, I read this in the paper, when she did that John Lewis Christmas song, that Keen version, Somewhere Only We Know.
Yeah.
Do you know how much she only earned £8,000 for that? I mean, that was a number one, but because she didn't have songwriting, streaming, blah 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 blah. So good for Christina, or Xtina as she's called these days. Yeah, and Missy.
Yes, because she used to be called Twitter Tina.
Yeah. Mary, as someone pointed out when they're looking at the internet, they're going, why is Christina called X-Tina now? Because it's short for Christ. So they're saying she should be called Xena. Mansplaining. Anyway, that's not the point.
It's from the movie Shark Tale, IMDb rating 6.0, which seems high. Now, I've got kids, Andy. I don't know if I've mentioned them.
Yes.
And they were born sort of late 2000s, early 2010s. I've seen a lot of animated kids films from around that era. I've seen all the Pixar ones a billion times. I've seen even things like, the Minions and Over the Hedge
Right.
and things like that. Loads. My children have never shown an interest at all in watching the movie Shark Tale. Consequently, I have never seen it. And, and this is from a position of someone who's never seen it. It looks rubbish.
Okay, maybe your kids never wanted to watch it because this version of Car Wash is so lumpen, heavy. I mean, Christina sings great, doesn't she? Missy Elliott's rap is cursory at best,
She
isn't
is
it?
phoning it in.
While we're on cursory rap, spoiler alert, there's another one coming up later. Yeah, so I wasn't digging this version at all, despite, there's some technical skills in there. As Sebastian's Wok says on YouTube, he says at 3 minutes 12 into the song, they say, when I was a child, I imitated this high note and everyone in my family wanted to punch me. So, it's got skills, but yeah, I'm not digging this record at all. It is the one song with a little bit of self-referencing this week. They both give each other a shout-out, Missy Elliott and Christina, and also give the film Shark's Tale a shout-out.
Yeah.
It should be great, shouldn't it, this? They're both great singers. It's a great song. Why is it not happening?
It's because they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Okay. Which is what money? Loads of great records have been made for that reason, though.
Oh, I don't know. It just doesn't. It's just a meh version of Car Wash
I agree.
from a film that looks bad. I haven't seen the film. I'm sure if there are huge fans of the movie Shark Tale who want to tell me why it's actually a masterpiece that I should revisit or that I should visit for the first time, then by all means get in touch, shubipodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
But I watched the trailer. I looked at some of the reviews. And who's in? Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese are in it playing sharks.
Really?
And apparently there are loads of references to things like The Godfather in it.
Okay.
And you go, who's that for? What kid is going to be watching that in 2004 going, I really like the Godfather references?
Maybe the parents, James, I'm going to say. Maybe the Godfather and Godmother's watching it. It's interesting, isn't it? Here we are. Great song. 2 great pop stars. Should we just get out of Dodge? I've got nothing to say about it.
I could just go off on one if you want.
Yeah, please.
So Finding Nemo, which is brilliant.
Let me settle down. Let me settle down for this, yeah. Go on.
Has over the end credits, Beyond the Sea, sung by Robbie Williams. Because,
Great song,
fish,
great pop star.
Sea,
Yeah.
whole thing there. This is a song about sharks and fish. Car wash.
That's a good point.
What do fish famously not drive?
Famous point.
Cars, let alone a car long enough for it to get dirty.
Yeah. If they drove in the sea, they wouldn't need a car wash anyway. It's fatally flawed, this song. I never thought we'd be digging into it like this. All right, then, I'm enjoying it. Well, I'm going to say, luckily, James, it's not on the Spotify playlist because it's not on Spotify, is it?
No, I like to think maybe Christina Aguilera and Missy Elliott went. Can you take that off?
Yeah, rather than contractual obligation, they both went with a fine for that not to exist.
In part 2 of this week's Shooby Dooby Doo Up, we'll be deep diving the top 5 from the 15th of November 2004. Here are the kind of things you can expect to hear.
Sometimes songwriters can't help but go, I'm so sensitive, I'm so caring, oh me, I see the world in different ways. Usher on this album, or this song certainly, seems to be thinking, never mind that.
I just want to say there is a lyric in this that has made me laugh every single time I've heard it.
I can't work out whether Blue are survivors or zombies. Please check out our Spotify and YouTube playlist, not only because it helps us with this podcast, but it also helps you by listening to all these songs. Let us know your thoughts at shootmepodcast@gmail.com, and for the songs aren't in the top 10, never made the top 10 at all, please join our Patreon community and become a subscriber.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and for everyone who's left a review so far, thank you. I'm hoping someone has by this point. Please rate, share, subscribe, mash that bell button. That's a thing people say, isn't it?
People say it all the time, mash it.
I don't know what it means.
Shh.
And until next time, shooby dooby doo up.
Bop, bop, shoo, wop.